Hello and welcome. Let's take a peek into the legal process outsourcing business. I'm joined by Sarvarth Misra, director at NewGalexy here, and you've invested in India or set up a backend in India many years ago. Yes. You also set up a onshore center in Glasgow.
That's right.
More recently. So what made you move to Glasgow after so many years?
Well, I think it's changing market conditions. The LPO sector was primarily governed by the Indian market, which was sort of growing rapidly, and there was a sort of cost arbitrage, the sort of demand for doing more for less. Probably 12 to 18 months back, we saw a trend in the UK where a lot of our clients were telling us, guys, we like what you guys do, we like the business model, could you give us an onshore option doing the same type of work, or sometimes different types of work? And probably for various reasons, there's a comfort level for doing certain types of tasks onshore. That was one of the driving factors. There was data protection laws, which in the EU are sort of growing more rapidly and becoming more stringent. So the type of services which can be offshore outside the EU are decreasing. So we saw sort of some market demand for that. And that was the reason why we sort of started operations in Glasgow. We looked at various centers for opening our onshore option, which we looked at Belfast in Northern Ireland, we looked at Dublin, and we looked at Glasgow. Because we come from the legal process outsourcing sector, so the number of lawyers, availability of talent in sort of Scotland was much higher compared to Northern Ireland and Ireland. And Scottish Development International also gives sort of government grants for new organizations that are starting up. So I think that sort of swayed our decision to go to Glasgow.
Right. So, and that's really the context you're here
yes.
at the Nasscom thing.
Sure.
So tell us about your experience so far in terms of what you've been able to deliver and maybe some of the challenges that you faced.
Well, I mean, I think in terms of what we've been delivering, we've got two verticals within what we do. The first vertical revolves around providing managed solutions to large international corporations, and those are legal departments of these large international corporations. And the other vertical is the UK 100 law firms who we provide support services for as well. So those are the two verticals we've grown. We've grown to around 20 lawyers in Glasgow. We started trading 1st January, so that's not bad, especially because the sector we are in is sort of more higher value. So it's not only about the scalability, but it's a more effective resourcing as well. So yeah, it's been good. We've been servicing FTSE 100 companies, large banks, and like I said, law firms as well.
Right.
Challenges-wise, with an onshore model, sometimes your cost base is very, very relevant in any outsourcing sector. We see that. So yes, I mean, we've got to look at our cash flows and look at our sort of projections and looking at what are we selling at, what value we're selling at as well. So we keep a key indicators of that as well.
And what's the sort of outlook for the year ahead or a couple of years ahead?
I think the LPO sector per se and the outsourcing sector is maturing. The currency devaluation actually from the cost arbitrage perspective works for us in India because we've got massive, I mean, we're much bigger in India at the moment than we are in the UK. And I think that trend would still remain. But as we move more on the blended model of an onshore and offshore sort of delivery center model, so I would expect onshore to sort of grow rapidly as well. So we're projecting that we'll be around 100 people out of Glasgow in the next 12 months. India would grow to around 250. And
can you find that many lawyers?
Well,
I mean,
yes.
You obviously found them, but...
Yes, I mean, I think there's a surplus of lawyers. Yeah. I think it's a buyer's market because the number of law graduates coming out of law school in Scotland and in the UK are much higher compared to the number of job opportunities available for lawyers at the moment. So the pool of lawyers so far, Famous Last Words, has been really good. We've been pretty impressed with the sort of lawyers we've been able to recruit. And I think when you're opening something onshore, that's very critical to what we do. I mean, there are three aspects of what we do. We call it technology, process, and people. And I think that pyramid of people is very significant when you're delivering sort of higher value LPO services. So, yes.
And last question really, what about skilling on the India side? I mean, availability and quality.
Yes, I mean, I think we've seen, one trend we've been seeing which is good is attrition's gone down significantly. And you have to motivate your lawyers here as well.
And why do you think attrition's gone down?
I think it's maturing as a sector. I think people are they know what they're going into now more than probably what they did 5 years back. And it's a different sale to them getting into the LPO sector vis-a-vis compared to when they take an in-house law sort of role in a large corporation or sort of a private practice role. So yes, it's improving. It's still there, but I think there's a significant improvement from what it was, let's say, 12 months back. And yes, we still, the way we sell our services is we say there's certain types of tasks much better done out of India, and we continue to grow India on that basis.
Right, Sarvarth, thank you very much for speaking with us. Thank you.